Welcome to Whisper English ASMR podcasts, where you can listen and learn while you sleep. So you don't need to focus, you don't need to do anything, just lie back, get comfortable and slow down your breathing. Take a soft breath in and out, and again take a soft breath in and out. Feel the bed beneath you. Let yourself melt into the quietness. Feel the warmth in your body. Let your hands rest. Let your eyes be heavy. You don't need to do anything, just listen. Now, maybe as you're listening to this podcast, you might be doing something else. You could even be driving, checking emails, or doing the dishes. You might even have the intention of falling asleep, but getting distracted by scrolling on your phone. It's not a criticism, it's just how life looks for most of us these days. We live in an always-on world. There is a glorification in the hustle, the myth that the more we do at once, the more effective we are, that switching between 10 tabs and 5 conversations somehow makes us more productive. But what if I told you that multitasking isn't a strength? What if it's a weakness, a myth, a habit that doesn't just reduce your efficiency but slowly chips away at your attention span, at your creativity, and at your mental well-being? That's what we'll be unpacking today. Not just to break down the myth of multitasking, but to show you what to do instead. So let's start with the myth itself. Multitasking has long been seen as a skill, something to put on resumes, a brag-worthy bullet point in job interviews. Oh, I'm great at multitasking. But ask yourself, when was the last time doing 5 things at once actually felt effective? More likely, you felt split, distracted, frazzled, and if you're being honest, you probably made more mistakes than usual. Cognitive psychologists have studied multitasking for decades. What they found is clear. The brain isn't built for true multitasking. What we call multitasking is actually task switching, jumping from one focus point to another rapidly, and this has a cost. In a now famous Stanford study, heavy multitaskers were found to be less effective at filtering irrelevant information, managing memory, and switching tasks efficiently. They were worse at multitasking than people who didn't multitask often. In short, the more you multitask, the worse you become at multitasking. Let's dive into what's happening neurologically, the science behind it all. Your brain has a central bottleneck for attention. When you switch from task A to task B, your prefrontal cortex has to change gears. This takes milliseconds each time, but over a day it adds up. This is known as switching cost. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that you can lose up to 40% of your productive time from task switching. Another key idea: attention residue. Sophie Leroy coined the term to describe the lingering thoughts and cognitive holdover from the task you just left. Even when you switch, part of your attention is still stuck on the previous thing. That's why you can't focus fully on the next task. This is also why meetings stacked back to back leave us drained. We bring cognitive leftovers from the previous topic into the next one and never fully arrive. So let's make this real. Here are some common situations where you're likely to multitask. These could be checking your phone while having a conversation with a friend or partner, replying to work messages while attending a virtual meeting, watching TV while scrolling through social media. It could be listening to a podcast while writing a report, or trying to answer emails while your children ask you questions. In each case, you feel like you're managing everything, but in reality, your cognitive resources are being fragmented. Not only do you perform each task more poorly, but you also feel more mentally tired, which leads to more errors and decision fatigue. So what are the hidden costs of multitasking, and what are we really losing? The main thing is productivity. Task switching can slash efficiency by up to 40%. You're doing more work to achieve the same or worse outcomes. Another thing that is affected is your memory. Multitasking depletes your working memory, making it harder to retain and integrate new information. Creativity also suffers. Creative thinking often requires extended periods of focus. When your attention is fractured, creative insights don't have time to develop. Relationships also suffer. Multitasking in conversations signals disengagement. Over time, this can erode trust and connection. Your mental health is also under attack because constant task switching increases stress, contributes to anxiety, and can feed into burnout. And here's the worst part. We're often unaware of these costs until we burn out or crash. So, why did we fall for multitasking in the first place? Part of it could be cultural. In the 80s and 90s, workplace culture began glamorizing busyness. Technology ramped up. We started doing more with less time. And we started believing that productivity meant doing everything at once. Smartphones took this to the next level. Now we're never truly switched off. We get work messages from group chats, emails, constant notifications from our phones, all demanding attention simultaneously. Multitasking became the norm, not because it works, but because the environment demanded it. But there's a growing counter-movement. People learning to reclaim their focus, to do less, to be better. And that's where we're heading into now. The antidote to multitasking is monotasking, doing one thing at a time with full presence. This isn't about becoming a productivity guru, it's about creating pockets of attention where your brain can work at its best. Some monotasking strategies could include time blocking, assigning clear time windows to one activity. Protect that time. Turn off notifications, even silent ones steal attention. them off during these deep work hours. Clear your visual field. One tab, one document, one window, one focus. Use the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focused work, then a 5-minute break. It's short enough to manage and long enough to build momentum. Batch your tasks together. Group these similar tasks, for example, reply to all emails in one sitting. And remember to make mindful transitions when switching back and forth between tasks. Pause for 60 seconds. Close one task mentally before starting another. There are some real-world benefits for monotasking, and you may ask, does this really make a difference? Yes, monotasking has real benefits. It helps you to complete tasks faster. It also gives higher quality output. It helps to reduce mental fatigue, and you have more flow states. You have better emotional regulation, and you get greater clarity in decision making. When you start monotasking, you may notice that you get more done in less time and with fewer mistakes. But more than that, you feel better, less mentally scattered, less strained, and more in control. So, I decided to give this a go. But when I first started monotasking, it felt unnatural. My brain was so used to context switching, and I didn't know how to sit with one thing, but I committed to 45 distraction-free minutes each morning. After a week, I was clearer. I was less reactive to stressful situations, and I didn't need the entire 8 hours to write a report. The practice spilled over, and I listened more in conversations, kept my phone in my pocket, and showed more respect. I stopped eating lunch in front of a screen, and I got better at being where I was, to be present in the moment. And I realized this: attention is a form of respect for others, for your work, and, most importantly, for yourself. So here's your challenge. Pick one 30-minute block each day this week. During that time, do only one thing. No phone, no tabs, no background noises or distractions. And then reflect at the end of the week. What changed? You can also try this. The next time you're in a conversation, just keep your phone in your pocket. Not just face down on the table, but put it away. Give those around you your full attention and see what happens. So, multitasking isn't a superpower. It's a lie sold by a culture that values speed over depth. But you don't have to buy this lie anymore. You can choose a different path, one task, one conversation, one thought at a time. Because that's where clarity lives. That's where your mind recovers. That's where your best work is waiting. I thank you for being here. If this episode has resonated with you, send it to someone who needs a reminder that they don't need to do all things at once. They just need to show up fully, do one thing at a time, and give those around them the respect that they deserve. So as you listen to this, I hope that you are drifting off to sleep, that you are relaxed and you have learned something that you can bring into your life. Thank you for listening to